What seems to be overrated until you actually try it. I cannot emphasize this enough. A quality pillow and mattress and sheets. My ex got mad at me when I spent almost $2,000 on my whole bed setup, but then has no problems with $100 bar tabs and $200 dinner nights out. My people, you spend 8 hours a night, 3,000 hours a year on your bed. It should be the most expensive, or just best quality regardless of price, item you purchase for your home. Anything less is just cheating yourself. That sounds like my ex. He'd go to the bar 3x a week and swore we didn't have money for allergen-free detergent I needed. I spent 2 weeks in the hospital getting EEGs and MRIs done. Came home to the biggest pizza box graveyard I'd ever seen. I was the one who did the grocery shopping, and I promise you that fridge and freezer was full. He could have cooked himself dinners instead of spending $50 night on beer and takeout. Sounds like my college days. Would eat out every day, then feel like shit the next day because of it, then because of feeling like shit have no energy to cook, so I would eat out. Then repeat all month. It took me a while to realize my lack of energy had a lot to do with eating shit food all the time. Now I eat healthier, and because of that, still have a shit ton of energy when I get home. Tailored clothing. You can have just about any body shape, but when you have it tailored to your actual size, you go from looking okay to looking amazing. Adding on to this, I like to wear denim. Specifically Levi denim. It's expensive buying new, and being a tall guy makes it tough. I go to thrift shops and pick up a pair for $15, one size too big. Bring it to a tailor and have it hemmed for $15. Best fit and so durable. I've had people ask me how I can afford it with my income, and when I tell them, they always say the same thing: that's a great idea. I also have a big chest and wide shoulders, so the denim jackets rarely fit right. So I find some that are too big and get them fixed. Drinking water. It's amazing how much better I feel when I consciously choose to drink more water. I drink around 10-13 pints of water a day. I have a serious desire to consume something 24/7, so rather than alcohol or snacking, I just drink water. Actual running shoes. Some shoes are meant for running, man. If you can find a good running shoe shop that does proper gait analysis, it's well worth it. They will have you run on a treadmill with a camera watching your footfall, then they watch it back in a slow motion and point out how your foot lands. Then go through a bunch of shoes to find ones that compensate for it. This will make running way better for you and much more comfortable too. I thought to look at the starry sky is boring, but in fact it is very beautiful. When I was a child, my dad taught me about the constellations and bird watching. He said if you know the stars and birds, you'll never be bored wherever you go. He was right. Also, plants. Once I started learning to identify them, I was amazed by how many different species of wildflowers are just everywhere. Yes, once you know what you're seeing, it's anything but boring. I took a walk with a friend a while ago, and he was blown away when I pointed out that skunk cabbage was pollinated by flies. Its flowers stink. It has contractile roots that pull it downward, and it creates its own heat to grow up out of the snow. Not to mention all the different uses and histories of all the individual plants. I can attest to this with very limited knowledge of plants. Wherever I go, I perk up when I see queen and lace. If I'm hiking or elsewhere, and it's not dickish, and I know whoever I'm with doesn't know plants very well, I pluck one and let them smell the root, and they recognize the smell. Wild carrot. For you gamers, this is what your player character harvests when she picks wild carrots in Red Dead Redemption 2. Getting a good massage. I was almost 30 and had never had one before, and I didn't really care to anyway. But my girlfriend found a deal for a couple's massage on Groupon at some shitty hole in the wall place, so we went. It was a terrible massage, and I left feeling worse than when I came in. I thought my apathy towards massages had been confirmed. A while later my back was really hurting, so I decided to maybe give it one more shot at a nicer place. This time it was amazing and so peaceful I almost fell asleep. I walked out the door with no back pain and feeling completely refreshed. I'm glad I gave it a second chance. Sleep, nutrition, hydration. Believe me when I say this. It's a cold, dark world until you tune those three together. Good headphones. You'll hear little nuances in music you've heard hundreds of times before but didn't notice. On this note, any form of a good sound system When my husband and I were in high school we had extra time and money because no responsibility. We both put good sound systems in our cars. He's an electrical engineer now, go figure, and loved engineering sound systems that would be really great for each of our cars. It was like a freaking dream come true. I loved getting in my car for my commute to work every morning because listening to music and there wasn't like anything else. We sold my car and this is now just a toy. It's a Jeep. So neither of us have great sound systems now and it really is sad. The first time I ever heard a good surround sound system I was frickin' blown away. One of my friends growing up came from a wealthy family that had a home theater. I brought my Xbox over and we played Halo 3 on it. I could feel the explosions and the vibrations from the vehicles zooming by, and it was crazy to me how the vehicles that were behind my character actually sounded like they were behind me. It felt like I was actually there. Hiring movers. I used to pride myself in my moves, but that was just me and my stuff from one bedroom to another. When I got married, we started renting our own apartments and the stuff accumulated over the years. When we moved to NYC we hired my buddy's moving company and it was amazing. When we moved apartments the next year, we hired another company and it was so nice not having to move a single thing up the stairs. We have not moved in 6 years now and I hope we won't have to anytime soon. But we will 100% pay the extra hundreds of dollars to not schlep couches and dressers. Getting 8+ hours of sleep. Sure, everybody needs to find his or her magic hour. Some people need only 6 or 7 hours of sleep. Some people need 8 or 9. It doesn't really matter that much if you are fresh and feel good the morning after. 8 seems to be around the average so I just used that. People are so weirdly proud of being overworked, exhausted, and sleep deprived. It's not good for you, even if you feel like it makes you cool. You know what we need? A pro sleep sub in the same way that our Hydra homies is pro water. It just needs a name. Our bedbras. Exercise. Free feel-good drugs that make you more attractive? Sign me up. Wait, I have to sweat? Fuck that. After many years in the military, I learned that some people don't get a dopamine high after cardio. I feel like they've been cheated by the universe. I don't think I've ever gotten a dopamine high after running, but when I'm walking home after jiu-jitsu class, even if I got my ass kicked the whole time, I feel happy and can't wait to train again. I've never felt that after a run. This is what I always say to people. Find an exercise you enjoy. I spent years dragging my ass to the gym or slogging away on a treadmill and hated it. Now I climb, play badminton, and train in Aikido. I love all of these and would happily do them even if there was no health benefit. It's all about finding your own thing. I envy those people who love running, but it will always be a chore for me. I recently started doing a 5k parkrun every few weeks because I want to improve my cardio performance for Aikido trainings. I can do it, but it's not fun. I've been running for a bit now and have been using an app that is called Zombies Run. It gives you an objective and a narrative story to follow as you run. Makes it a lot more involved and fun for me. Maybe worth checking out. A weighted blanket. Oh yes. I got one for my birthday and I freaking love it. Insomnia is busted, anxiety attacks are cooled down, and the blanket acts as a shield against depression when combined with B99, a dog, and banana bread. Not being piss poor. Now I'm lower middle class and that money makes all the difference in the world for my health and happiness. Who would have thought? Money can't buy happiness should really be money can't guarantee happiness all the time for everyone, because holy shit, can a little money buy a lot of happiness when you have none? Like my mom always says, money can't buy happiness but it's a good down payment. I'm assuming golf, considering how fucking boring it seems and how much people who play love it. Can confirm. I'd rather watch paint dry than watch golf, but playing with friends or family and it can be a really fun thing. To be fair, doing anything with friends, family can make it fun, to include watching paint dry. As a millennial, a full-time job and falling asleep early, was a night owl for years, depressed for a few, had a few part-time jobs here and there because I thought that I would hate working full-time. Turns out I like waking up early and really needed the structure in my life. Helped with my depression immensely and I'm not so sad anymore these days. Sure, I have less time to do other things, but now they actually feel like hobbies, not like things I use to pass an excessive amount of time. I agree 100%. I started my first full-time job last month and it's so nice having structure in my life. I honestly prefer it a bit over going to university. My school schedule is never consistent day to day, so it's hard to get used to. I love being able to sleep at the same time every night. VR. I looked at it at conferences but never really got into it. After using a headset in a more private environment, I found it amazing. It really is completely different. Yoga and meditation. It's ridiculous how hard it can be to just sit within yourself, but once you've done it and found the quiet, it's hard to stay away. I was gonna say this also. The thing is, you get better at it the more often you do it, and what begins as almost a chore evolves into something you look forward to because you know how great you're gonna feel afterward. Actually spending time improving your relationships with family and friends. The older I get, the more I regret not having spent more time with family and friends. I can imagine. I became much closer and active with my parents, for example, after my daughter was born. Since I have not been that close with my parents for the last 10 years, that's when I understood that they are fantastic people and I've been missing out on a lot of love and warmth. Getting skincare that actually works for you instead of whatever is convenient. I had terrible acne for years and I would just use whatever skincare I got my hands on instead of finding something that actually cleared up my skin. Good quality fruits and vegetables. It may sound overrated, but good. Fresh foods taste amazing. Many fancy, expensive restaurants. I've always been frugal. After marriage I've joined my in-laws on several occasions for nice dinners. My taste buds are still in shock at the flavors that exist among foods I've eaten all my life. There is a true art to cooking that can't be replicated without years of education and training. On the other hand, hole-in-the-wall places. Some of the best cheap foods are gonna be served by a lovely grandmother in an alley tenement or a food truck parked in an unused auto body shop parking lot. People always say that you should try the locals' food, and I absolutely agree. If a place seems sketchy, but there's a line at 1 AM, the food is gonna be good. Those electric scooters that recently popped up all over cities in USA. I always made fun of the people riding them for being lame until I had to unexpectedly be on the other side of downtown. What would have been a 45-minute walk turned into a 15-minute ride for under $5. Plus it was super fun. Haters gonna hate. The haters aren't hating because they think the scooters are lame. They are hating because of all the people breaking traffic laws, inappropriately discarding them when finished, and generally making streets and sidewalks more dangerous for pedestrians and drivers alike. At least in Denver, the majority of people I see using scooters are not sharing the road appropriately with other modes of transportation. Sushi was one of those things for me. I was very put off by it for so long, until I actually tried it and realized just how good it could be. Saving money while young. Me and my husband were always seen as super boring when we were young because we both individually loved to save money. We still went out but just spent very little. No alcohol, no smoking, no drugs, no makeup, no expensive restaurants, always find vouchers, etc. But we saved enough to buy our home with a 50% deposit in our 20s, which means a tiny mortgage. That now means that we can live very comfortably off one average income and still save for whatever we want to do. Trust me, start saving now. Cleaning. Everyone thinks this is a chore, but there's actually great benefits when you clean your house and your bedroom. You get some exercise and you actually have a lot more space and it's good for your health. Volunteering. Putting your time into causes you believe in make a difference in the lives of many and is personally rewarding. Minecraft. Acid. Don't get me wrong. A lot of people hype it up way too much, but until you try it you really don't know what you're missing out on. Your entire life has been one reality, and one way of seeing things. It's a really interesting and unique experience. I didn't really get the hype until I tried it. Cheese pizza. All my life I ordered toppings because why would I want a plain pizza? Meat and stuff only makes it better, right? Well, one day I went to my pizza place for a slice but I could only afford a slice of cheese, so I got it and sprinkled some crushed red pepper on it, and my goodness. So fucking good. Been my preferred pizza for 8 years now. Before that I thought people were nuts for ordering a plain pizza, but I see it now.